It's another glorious day in the south of England, and we've got quite a lot to do with the aeroplane today. We're taking it up to maintenance for its final big check before I set off across the Atlantic, so a really important maintenance task. We've got a flight test to do on the way, I'll tell you about that in a second, and then we're going to meet India Victor's little sister. Okay, it's going to be 18, we're going to rotate at 55.
Runway 18, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 18, Golf India Victor. So we're on our way to maintenance, India Victor going in for a big check prior to crossing the Atlantic. A few niggles to deal with, but nothing horrendous. It's less than 2 weeks to go now before I set course for Iceland, Greenland, Canada, and then finally the USA, and I obviously want the aircraft in tip-top condition. The new engine monitor on board has been recording dozens of parameters over the last dozen or so flights, and I've sent them off for analysis. There's a company called Savvy in the States. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. One of their reports that I paid for suggested India Victor's engine baffles might be in need of replacement or adjustment because we're getting these fluctuations on 3 of our cylinder head temperatures. Nothing critical, they say, but it would be nice to correct them if we can. They've also recommended that I complete their flight test profile to see how good my fuel injectors are, whether the aircraft can fly lean of peak effectively, and whether the magnetos are properly timed. So on the way to the workshop, that's what I'm going to do. What we've done is we followed the test procedure. We're flying at 65% power, and we're going to do several sweeps on the lean to go to basically 50 degrees lean of peak, or until the engine runs rough. So we're going to do that now. So we'll set our timer up on here. So for this first test, I have to gradually lean the mixture really slowly over the course of 3 to 4 minutes, gradually coming back to the point where the engine runs a bit rough. Then I have to enrich slightly, note the fuel flow, before gradually going mixture rich again really slowly over the course of 3 to 4 minutes. And we've got to try and maintain manifold pressure at 28 inches as we do. Not helped by it being bumpy. I'm going to call it 8 gallons per hour, 7.9. Got a bit of roughness there, so now we're going to re-enrich to 100 degrees rich at peak. I had to do this cycle 3 times, so all in all it took about 24 minutes, and then the last test I needed to do was to cycle the magneto. So on the last lean sweep, while lean at peak, I had to switch to the left mag for 30 seconds, then both for 30, then to the right for 30, then back to both again. Before doing this though, I did want to check that there was a field I could make nearby, just in case the engine quit. I don't particularly want to do this, but anyway. So wind is from the south. It's over there. I'm going to go to left. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm never a big fan of switching the magnetos to single magnetos in flight. It's especially we're very lean of peak now, so the engine's already a little bit rough and runs even rougher on one mag, but it was all fine. You get the picture. We cycled between the mags, and we got the data we needed, and then I headed to the maintenance workshop at Elmsett. Watersham traffic, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor is a Piper Arrow, 3 mile final, runway 05, Elmsett, Watersham traffic. Thanks so much for all your supportive messages about my upcoming Atlantic mission. It's been 18 months or more in the planning, and I can't wait to get underway. I'm using the 12,000 mile round trip to raise £50,000 for the Aerobytes charity. They help disabled people experience the magic of flight, and I've decided to start my adventure from their headquarters at Blackbush Airport on Saturday the 23rd of May. We're going to have a send-off party and you're invited. There are limited tickets though, and you must have a ticket to join us. They cost £30 if you're flying in, £10 if you're coming by car. All proceeds will go to Aerobytes. There's going to be a barbecue, I'll give a short talk, and you can come and see the Aerobytes aircraft, including the Pipistrel electric Velis Electro that they're now using for their flights with their service users. If you want to come, register on my website. The link is in the video description and on the screen. You have just a few days left to secure your place, so act fast to avoid disappointment, please. Once you're registered, Airability will be in touch with the finer arrangements for the day. So the team here are going to be doing the 100-hour check, as you might expect. Also, I have asked them to show me a few things that I might be able to do myself. Let's say I get stuck in some remote part of Canada or Greenland and I've got a flat tire, or I don't know, maybe I need to do a 50-hour check myself because I can't find anyone to do it. They're going to show me now how to do a couple of those things so that I can get myself out of a hole in places where there aren't any engineers nearby. So we're weeks away from I'm weeks away from setting off, and we've been talking quite a lot this last sort of 6 months, and you've been coming up with thoughts and ideas, what we could do preventative wise, or what we could do to mitigate risk where possible. We've got the 100-hour to do, which actually it's not due 100, but we're going to do 100.
I think then you'll only need to do a 50 while you're out there, right?
Yeah. That was the idea with that. Yeah. In a minute, you're going to show me how to change a tyre, do an oil change, inspect the plugs, have a look and an inspection of the engine, sort of 50-hour items, if I had to do them. But,
well, you may have to sign for it if there's no G-Reg.
So I need to know.
You might find an AMP who can't sign for it, but you might be taking the supervisory role, I suppose.
Yeah, so I better know. I better know what's right and wrong.
Second pair of eyes.
The plane is in good shape. I mean, it's been running well. We've had the avionics done. We've had the engine data looked at.
Yeah.
That all looks good. I'm quite happy with all of that.
Yeah. I mean, Savvy have got a lot of data, so they ought to know how one of these old things looked, and there's plenty of them around. So.
They've told us to look at the baffles because we've got this strange oscillation in temperatures.
I think they are getting, looking from here, they're getting to the point where they could be not pressing against the cowl as hard as they ought to.
I don't think it was critical. It was more that,
Yeah, but I think that's a fair point. I think it's 50-50. They are coming. They've done their time almost.
So we're going to change the baffles.
I think we might change the baffle seal.
What else will we be looking at this check, or what are we thinking of doing?
It's difficult. I mean, there's a certain amount of wisdom that says if it's running well, leave well alone.
Yeah.
So observation.
Yeah.
And you've started that with the engine monitoring. You've started that with some other trends you're looking at. The only failure that crossed my mind is we've had two lately of the plastic mag gears strip their teeth. One on one of our airplanes and one on another maintenance company.
Right.
Now, Continental, TCM, say replace if they're discoloured. If you look at one in the stores, they're always discoloured, and if they've been in the stores for 6 months, they discolour. So I'm wondering whether to put one new one in so you don't have the same failure on both mags, like the sort of ETOPS principle.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can really think of. We haven't had much else on these types that have let us down big time.
There's a few niggles that we need to sort out. The new engine monitor's shown that the RPM is over speeding.
Yes, we'll cut that back.
So that's an easy fix, isn't it?
25 RPM or so, we'll cut that back.
I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, in terms of spare parts, you're going to give me some spare parts.
You're going to take some plugs, filter, tubes, battery.
Yeah. The rest of it's fine. I mean, why mess with it?
The rest of it we'll do a thorough inspection, but basically leave well alone if we don't need to do stuff, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, you had a set of cylinders, 200-300 hours ago?
Yeah.
They've all settled down nicely.
Yeah.
It hasn't caused any issues at the bottom end. The engine's 1,200-1,300 hours.
Correct.
Oil pressure hasn't changed at all in the last time you've owned it.
No.
So
leave it.
Leave well alone.
So it was time to get my hands dirty, draining the oil, replacing the oil filter.
Nice thing about doing it when the oil's a bit warm is it comes out quicker.
All while keeping a note of all the tools I'm going to need to take with me. Aidan made me a jacking adapter so that I could raise a wheel to change a tyre or inner tube, and he showed me how that's done. The engine was run and we checked there were no leaks, of course, as well. So let's just run the engine now just to make sure there are no leaks, and I've tightened everything up properly. I don't see anything leaking, but we'll have a good look. While I like to think of myself as a practical kind of person, I'm quite happy doing DIY around the home. I've never been particularly good with cars or engines, and so this stuff doesn't come naturally to me. However, since this is the second time I've done this now under Aero Anglia's supervision, I do now feel confident that I could do these tasks in a pinch, or at least sign the paperwork to approve a non-CAA engineer's work, which is something I'm likely to have to do when I reach my 50-hour check interval somewhere over in the States. So a really useful exercise, and I'm sure even if I don't use these skills on this adventure, they'll come in handy at another point in the future. So we're going to leave the boys to continue working on India Victor, and I've got a couple of people I want you to meet. One of them's walking away from me over there. It's Nigel. Do you remember Nigel? Yeah, CBIR instructor, and it's India Victor's little sister, another Turbo Arrow 3. Not so keen on the colour scheme, I have to say, but let's jump in and see how she flies. Owing to these colours, I've decided to give Alpha Yankee the nickname Rhubarb and Custard. Okay. I wasn't much a fan of that particular dessert when they used to serve it up from the school canteen, but I will take a flight in Alpha Yankee nonetheless. Not least because it's a ride back to Redhill where my car is parked. Everyone's different, isn't it, when you get in a new aircraft? How are you finding the Arrow then? Do you like the Arrow?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's nice and stable.
It is, isn't it?
And it's quick.
Yeah. Just quick enough.
Yeah.
You're doing CBIR training in this now then?
We are indeed.
This is Anglian Flight Centre's new CBIR platform. Yep. I think it's a good platform for CBIR.
It is. It's got everything that you want on it, really. A good autopilot helps as well, even though you might not be able to use all of its functions on the test. Yeah. But it certainly alleviates brain power.
I see you've taken inspiration from myself. It's pretty much the same panel actually.
It is pretty much the same, yeah.
Watersham traffic, Golf Echo Charlie Alpha Yankee PA28 Arrow, lining up for departure, runway 23, Watersham traffic. Good to go?
Oh, good, yeah.
We're looking for 41 inches. There's 39.40, that'll do nicely. Got S-speed increasing. A bit heavier on the rudder than I'm used to. There's 50 knots, T's and P's are in the green. Up the brakes, gear coming up, gear in transit. It's not all that different from mine really. Well, thanks for picking me up by the way, that's
no problem.
That's so much easier than the 3-hour train journey home.
I can imagine.
Have you flown into Redhill before?
No, never been to Redhill.
Oh wow.
No. Not even by road, so it's the first time for me, so you can show me the ropes.
I can teach you something.
You can indeed, yeah. Especially since I've got to come out by myself, so yeah.
This flight back to Redhill is not only far more convenient than doing this route by public transport, it's also an opportunity for me to catch up with Nigel on the instrument rating and how I'm finding it all 6 months since passing the test.
So how are you enjoying Autopilot World?
Oh my god! It is a dream.
And it just, yeah,
but
it's really good.
What I will say is it's making flying sometimes a bit boring, dare I say it.
Until something happens. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And what about the IR? What's the best thing about? Now you've got the IR, you've done all the hard work, and I did say at the time it was probably the most difficult thing you're ever going to do. So now you've got it. What's the best thing about it?
I think that if you're on long distance flying, doing that VFR outside of the system is hard work. A lot of hard work. Hard work in planning it, routing around everything you've got to route around, and then hard work when you're flying it, negotiating all the different clearances. So that's the beauty of it. You just stick a route in your EFB, get your route, file it, and off you go.
So that's the good bits.
Yeah.
What about now you've got it and you're using it in anger? What about the bits that you get caught out by?
Well, I suppose the first thing I noticed was you're completely in their hands, and so you don't know what's going to happen. And unless I suppose you're proactive, you might be heading for somewhere where you've got to become VFR at the end of it, and you don't know how they're going to make that happen, or when they're going to descend you out of airspace.
Yep.
The other thing is, and this is mostly a UK thing, and especially coming back into the UK,
Yep.
is leaving controlled airspace on a clearance to leave, only to have another bit of controlled airspace right ahead of you. That,
Yep.
and a couple of times, like coming back into the UK, they've descended me out of the TMA, and 2 miles ahead.
Into Southend. I've had that into
Yeah.
Southend.
Oh, really? Yeah.
They send you out the TMA and basically attempt to get rid of you without actually clearing you into the Southend airspace.
Yeah.
By descent.
Yeah.
So you're right. You just have to have your wits about you. And the beauty of an autopilot is it gives you the brain power to do that.
Yeah.
That's the important bit.
I tell you what, one of the hardest things actually is the LNAV approaches.
Yes. Lots of people think RMP approaches must be easier because they're GPS, but actually they're much, as I said to you at the time when we were doing the training, they're much more bitty and a lot more to them with lots more turns and descents. And you just have to be ahead of the game all the time if you're an autopilot doing it, you know, so you know what the autopilot should be doing before it actually does it. And that's the only way to keep ahead of the game. You know, an ILS is, in relative terms, is much more straightforward because you have much longer legs and not so many turns.
Yeah. So obviously people can come and do the CBIR in this, which is perfect for it. But you've seen me flying the Arrow, you know it's a great aircraft, it's great for the CBIR, but people can still come to Elscone, Anglian Flight Centres and do the CBIR if they've got their own IFR capable aircraft.
Yeah, they can, and obviously we have a conversation with them. We need to make sure that it's a suitable platform to do the job. It's got the correct level of equipment in it to do the initial IR especially, because lots of aircraft these days don't have a DME, and that is a bit of a problem for an initial IR, certainly.
Got more hazy as the afternoon's gone on.
It is, and down here it seems to be more hazy than where we left, yeah.
Coming up it was alright.
So that was good fun flying India Victor's little sister. Flies very much like mine really. Certainly a much easier way to get back to Redhill than getting on the train. 45 minutes versus 3 hours, yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. And good to catch up with Nigel about how I'm getting on with the IR. And if you're looking or interested in doing the CBIR, and why wouldn't you, if you've seen how it's revolutionised my flying, then get in touch with Anglian Flight Centres and they can talk you through it. And you can even do it in the Arrow here as well. Right, I'm going to wrap up now and wait for India Victor to come back, and then of course it's off to Greenland. See you soon folks, bye for now. Don't forget to register for a ticket to join me for that send-off party on the 23rd of May. If you can't come, why not donate a few quid to Aerobility instead? The details of the send-off event and the £50,000 charity fundraiser can be found on my website. There you'll also find out how to keep across my Atlantic mission by joining the Flying Reporter Members Club. I'll be posting daily updates to club members on my progress as I set course across the North Atlantic.